Hello and welcome back to Fair or Foul. I'm Brad Fehr. In this week's Umpire Short, I just want to talk about pace of play. A 7 inning game is usually about 2 hours long, and as an umpire, our responsibility is to not only call balls or strikes or safes and outs, but also to make sure the game gets played in a reasonable amount of time. So, what does this mean? It can mean anything from making sure that you just don't run out of baseballs, to putting a new ball back in play after a foul ball, to encouraging teams to hustle in and off the field quickly. This can sometimes be a challenge as players or coaches like to at times control the pace of play by calling timeouts. As an umpire, it takes experience to recognize the difference between a timeout to help a player or a team to recover or regroup, or to a timeout which it has an ulterior motive to slow the pace of play down. When a team or a player is deliberately trying to stall the game, this is usually becoming clear because they're calling multiple timeouts in a short amount of time. And it is as the umpire's discretion to grant these pauses in play. Now, just to give you an example for just a story, just several years ago, my brother was playing in a time limit game, and it was a close game. And there was about 5 minutes or so left in the game. So my brother's team was at bat, and the other team being in the field, the coach decided, oh, I'm going to do a mound visit. Calls timeout, goes out to the mound, and he tells his pitcher, don't throw any more pitches. Just step off the rubber and throw over to first base. So that's what happened. The pitcher just ended up stepping off of the rubber and throwing over to first over and over and over again without getting the out at first. And so there was just this frustration because the game wasn't actually being played the way that it should be, and there was the offense couldn't bat. And we see this now being called in a way that if that happens and they don't get their runner out at first base, it's like a balk. You just call balk and you give the runner second base. So now I just want to give a quote from umpire Mark Moorer of the Carolina Baseball Umpires Association concerning pace of play. Mark says, be approachable, yet make sure the game moves along. It is important to have a game move along. Everyone has a much more positive experience, the players, the coaches, the spectators, and the officials, when the game is well played and moves along. And Mark is right. Nobody is wanting a 3-hour game. Does your extra inning game with high scoring, and does that take place here and there? Of course. But a well officiated game has a good flow, and umpires manage it well. We see this even with warm-up pitches being thrown in between innings, that now you limit the amount of pitches, or there's actually a warm-up time limit in between innings to keep the pace of play moving. Now, just to summarize, the pace of play is the responsibility of us as umpires. It is something each umpire learns to manage and create a positive experience for everyone involved in the game. At the same time, do not rush your calls, but rather remain calm and take the time to make a good call or have a conversation with a manager to help manage any concerns or conflict on the diamond. Thanks for watching this episode of Fair or Foul. I'll be back next week with another umpire tip.